So, once again, my name is Rufen Peregrino Kwao. I am a business and travel abroad consultant, and I've been doing this officially for half a decade. Unofficially, I've been doing it for about 10 years, a decade now. I love to travel, and I love everything which has to do with travel, being it the work route, the study route, the visitors route, or what have you. And we do it the legal way. All right. We do it the legal way. So if you're on YouTube, I'm going to post a link in the YouTube session where you can click to join us as we live stream, like on the live stream. We'll bring you or we add you to the stage. We'll bring you up here so people can also see you. And if you're on Facebook too, I'm going to post the link there on Facebook so you can also join us along the line as we navigate the UK Global Talent Visa journey. Trust me, this session is going to be an interactive one. It's going to be mind blowing because I know you can't wait to start your journey abroad. Not any country than United Kingdom. So if you belong to this professional, you know, group of person, like being it digital technology, being it academia or research, or art and creative, or creative and art, or let me say fashion, or what have you, this is yours. That's the art and culture. This is yours. So, without wasting much time, I have here with me, I'm super excited. Trust me. I'm super, super, super excited to have this gentleman. He is the hot cake in quotes, very hot cake. So having him with us tonight, trust me, please grab a pen and a paper and jot something down. I know you want to migrate to the UK, and this opportunity is mind blowing. So I have here with me in the person Derek Degbe. I don't know if I got it right, the surname I got it right, but he will introduce himself formally to you guys. Derek Degbe is an IT professional, IT guru, or whatsoever you. So let me bring him on stage so you can have a feel of him. Hello, senior. Good evening. I salute you, boss.
Yeah, good evening. Good to see you.
I'm super happy, super excited to have you here with us.
Yeah,
I'm super, super, super happy. You're welcome to my platform. That's a Rupin Peregrino platform across all social media. And this is the second episode of the Travel Gist. So I'm so much fortunate to have you with us. You have the floor, my boss.
yeah. Thank you, and good evening to everyone watching us. Yeah, good to be on this platform. I mean, obviously, it's um, a much better way to, share and learn from one another. Obviously, something that I feel we all benefit from. Obviously, because all the resources that we come across, like around the world are obvious like things that people go through, like have experience with and do benefit like all of us whenever we need to use them. So on a shared platform like this, we get to also share like the little that we know about and other people also benefit from it. Not for any reason, but basically how it helps one person or the other to also land or unlock something that they are looking at working on. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
And we are happy to have you here with us. And I believe a lot of people are streaming now, have joined us live streaming. I know your friends, family, you have the numbers. And what was your popular name? You are known for a name which it blows our mind. The first time someone hears your your other name, I call it the AK or the alias. What was it?
That's a coded name to only K University
Really?
student
Can you
politicians. They
can't
they
can't
they
can't you permit me to mention it?
and they that's for them. They are the only people who are allowed to use it.
You are
There
allowed to use
are
it.
some other extended members like as well. I mean, in on K University campus, I also had like two different images. People who know me by that name, people obviously also know me for the other thing. So it's nice. It's a Habine is a very popular name, obviously, for whatever reason it was, but I mean no more. I I'm not so
Okay,
much into that again. Yeah, but yeah, that's
okay. Um, if you are joining us tonight, I respect this gentleman so much. He has been my friend. He has been my senior, my boss, my whatsoever for over close to close to 7 years now, or 8 years or so.
mm.
And, and I respect him so much. I respect him so much. Senior. Bang. Anyway, where are you joining us from, my boss?
uh yeah, I live in London. That's why I live and work. And I've been here like, for the past 3 years. I do come to Ghana sometimes, like because I mean,
Oh, okay.
um, I don't know, but yeah, I think I've been to Ghana once this year. I'm yet to go again, but I'm sure I will do that before the year ends. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm joining just by way from London, where I live in West London. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. So we are fortunate to have you with us, and we know you moved to London on a particular visa
Mhm.
route,
Yeah.
which you've always want to to pass on your knowledge, whatever thing you benefit from
Mhm.
to your generation, which is our generation, the youth, and
Yeah.
those upcoming generation. And you've always been telling me, Perry, this opportunity was, an awesome one, and you wish each and every Ghanaian moves to London or UK on that route. And a lot of people have not, exploited that route yet. They don't really know much about that route. And I believe since you're a living testimony, bringing you here on this platform will actually help a lot. When I say a lot, we Africans, Ghanaians, to migrate to the UK using or on that route. And tonight, we are going to discuss on that route, and I'll leave it to Master Derek. Master Derek, please, before I bring my submission to an end, I want you to introduce yourself to us, what you do, and then you speak about the route. The route is Global Talent Visa. My
Mm.
boss, you have the floor now.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So my name is Derek. Degbe, as you know, I work as an analytics engineer currently for a sports betting company based here in London, Course Market. I've been working in this company for the past close to 18 months. Um, my role or responsibilities like more on the analytics function of the business, obviously trying to understand a lot more about our customers and all of the things that has to happen from, I mean, placing a bet to, or maybe basically from how we acquire our customers to placing a bet and getting to know about a lot more about the numbers, obviously to, take care of a lot of things, including like what our regulators need because the sports betting industry is a highly regulated one. So that offers a lot more to do with doing like a lot more analytics that helps you to answer those questions, obviously, to the regulators, and many others, which I may not be able to talk about them today. So aside that, on a personal level, yeah, I started working on also like a project called the Derek's AI, which is a lot more on building an analytics engineer as a platform. So users will be able to, perform all of the analytics function that, um, let me say, people are supposed to perform. So, and a very autonomous one. It's more beyond like what AI agents are doing, but it lets more on the some flexibility in terms of like functionalities and then how it's supposed to be operating. I moved to the UK 3 years ago on the global talent visa, using the technology route. So what I remember about global talent and what I do know about global talent is it's one of those visas that allow um, people around the world to relocate to the UK, to work and then leave. So for most people, traveling abroad is a lot of things. Like, but for global talent, what it means is you have the freedom to live and work in the country, and you basically have no limit on what you want to do. What I mean is you can be employed, like what I'm doing currently, and you can actually also start your own business, like what I'm also doing on the other side. So that means for most people or for most visas, you have a lot of restrictions, like you may not be able to work up to certain hours, or you can't even start your business, or you can't be part of a business. But for these visas, it means you are almost like maybe a citizen, because you can do almost everything that you want to do. And the process itself is where the line is drawn, because the process also require you to meet some certain criteria, and then there are some criteria that have been also been set, which means that you need to be able to tick all the boxes to be able to be on that visa. Uh, it's a two-way process, so you obviously have to go through the first stage, and before you can move to the second stage. And the first phase is where a lot of the work actually happens. In my case, on the tech route, it means we have to submit some of our documents to a body, and this body for these visa routes is Technician. Technician is that body set up by the UK government to take like all of those documents from eligible applicants, go through their documents, and then once they approve of them, they would then have to send the approval or the endorsement to the Home Office, which is the let me say the body responsible for everything that has to do with immigrants in the country. And they also then will send you a confirmation that, hey, you've just got being endorsed by the body, which is Technician, and so you can go ahead to apply for your visa, which is now going to be taken care of by the Home Office. And I think for
Hey,
almost
Mr. Derek,
everybody, yeah,
sorry for stepping in.
yeah,
Um, we would want to know, this type of visa is called a global talent visa, right?
yeah,
And we believe it is categorized into three, isn't it?
yes, it is. Um,
For okay,
I
which
think
category? Which categories are those? If someone
yes.
is joining us,
Mhm.
someone just joined us and knows nothing about this global talent visa and want to move on that route, which leader, which professional or professional background must he or she have, or what talent must he or she have before he or she can start an application or start a process?
Well, I would say you don't necessarily need to come from a very particular, profession, because the journey in such a way that depending on where you have spent so much of your time and then can prove that you have expertise or knowledge in or experience in, that is where you can really find yourself in. But then what really this means also is that the categories are about three of them. Like I said, for where I come from or for my background for which I'm here, I went through the technology one, which is the technology stack. And there are many other stack. That the other two stacks are people who come from the racial stack and also from the creative art stack. So if someone is, for example, I can be endorsed for the research stack depending on what contribution I've made to research and then why I want to be in research. I can be also be endorsed for the creative arts depending on what I've been able to do in the creative art space. So these three are the benchmark on which any applicants can come from. But like I'm saying, you don't necessarily need to have come from a specific background because the background doesn't really matter. What really matter is which of these stack you have a proven expertise or knowledge or experience that you want to share with him. And all the criterias are all listed. So you look at the criteria, the one that fits into what you're doing, then you can do that. For example, Perry, you are currently doing, let's say, one side of your business that you do is consultancy for people to travel. Now, this can be proven to, let's say, somebody who is in the tech space because the product you are working in is a tech-enabled product. And so if you can prove that your business is well aligned to tech and then even helping people as well as making money from all of that, you can decide to go through the technology stack and then use it to apply for an endorsement from Tech Nation. At the same time, if at some point there are something that proves that you are very good with the creative art space, then you can decide to go into the creative arts and then I apply for that. So it is just dependent on what you can prove that you've been doing. That's the area you can then go to and then decide to apply for endorsement from. Yeah.
Okay, so since you went to the UK through the IT or digital technology route, isn't it?
Yeah, I went through the
So,
technology.
okay, so tell us how your process started, how you got to know about these, global talent visa, what sparkled your interest, and to start the process. How did you do it? How did you get there? Were you endorsed by an institution there? Is it a job visa? Is it a sponsorship something or what? How did you get there? Tell us.
Yeah, good question. So, if I remember, like I said, I moved here 3 years ago, and so 3 years ago is 2022, and so in 2022 I came across the UK Global Talent Visa when I decided to just scan through all the visas that the UK has got, and so by just looking at the Global Talent Visa, I decided to look into the requirements for each of the stack. And the stack that I got much interested in is the technology stack, which at that time had various professions, including data science, data engineering, machine learning engineering, data analyst, cybersecurity, and then many others. And for each of these, there were under like a lot of listed things that you should have proven that you have before you can be applying for. Now, when I was applying, one of the things that was more important was three recommendations letters that you're supposed to prove. Now, these three recommendation letters were necessary for one, for you to prove that you are actually working in a tech-enabled product or tech-enabled company. Now, when I say tech-enabled company, I'm basically talking about in a company where the product offering that you are dealing, like you are, that you have, is mostly tech related. So, for example, if you're working for, let's say, a telco, And the product that you find yourself working, let's say mobile money. Now, mobile money is a lot more a digital product because all the transactions and then the interactions are done via the internet and also done with a lot of system that has been set up. So that places you in that category. But what then you also need to do is, as someone working in such function, whoever is writing the recommendation letter for you should be also be able to write around what your role is within this space. Now, when you work as a data scientist, when you are working as a data engineer, your function is more around the data that comes into these operations. So people, the transactions that they do, what kind of system that we build, like you build like a data platform that enables the data to be consumed from, let's say, various endpoints or APIs and all of that. They come into like, let's say, a data platform you build. So you have your data being accessed via like a data warehouse or a data lake. Now, because you are performing like all of these functions within it, when the person needs to write your recommendation letter for you, they are going to be able to establish like within it that, okay, when Perry joined, we're building a data platform to allow all our transactions from, let's say, a particular endpoint to come into this data platform that we built. And he was responsible for that. So he built like all of the connections that we need to have to get the data into that space. Now he's going to also write about some progress that you made and all the things that were very successful for which you were able to build all of that. So such a person who's writing the recommendation letter for you sits within a bigger, let me say, as an executive of the business or the company. So he can be the CEO, he can be the chief, he can be the CTO, or he can be even the deputy CEO or whatever. The most important thing is that they should be people of influence who knows about the work you've been able to do, and then they write a recommendation letter for you. So these three people then were the ones that write this recommendation letter for you. Now, once those recommendation letters are written, you are allowed to also provide additional ones. So you can decide that, okay, I've got two other people whom maybe I've worked for, but in a different organization or in a different function. And they can also write to prove all of these things that we are talking about. So now you've got like 5 different recommendation letters. Now, at the time, um, UKVI or technician required that you are supposed to also prove where you have provided mentorship at. Now, mentorship is very important in tech or anything that we have to do with regards to how we work. Because by mentoring, you expand a community. And by building a community, it means a lot of integrated people get to know about what we're doing because it's a way to market, it's a way to sell a system or what you are trying to build. So mentorship were very important, but the mentorship were supposed to be done either through an institution. The institution could be a university, it could be like a tertiary institution. So for example, if back in KNUST, you go to school, you go to the school, maybe one of these departments, you were mentoring some of the students through some of their clubs that they've got. So we have the Google Developer platform, sorry, Google Developer, club in the computer science department most of the time. We also got so many other associations like in NAPTOS. Now, all of these platforms are opportunities that you can use to mentor people. So imagine that you do many of these things, and then there is a whole patron and other leadership members who are part of it and knows about this job. Now, when it's time for you to get endorsed, get to recommendation letters, they are also going to write to support your application. So they also tell about what you've been doing for this department and how you've been doing it. So if it is, let's say, a program you decided to run for which some number of students decided to participate, you are going to be talking about all the success story, how many students you started with, what you were teaching them, how it has impacted them, and the end results of all of that that you have been done. Now, this will add up to what we are writing on and the recommendations that, or the proof that you need to submit. And the last part at our time was another organization needed to know about your work. And so this organization could also be an institution like the university or even an NGO. Now, this NGO should be an international NGO that is into impact, like things that impact people's lives. And they know or they knew about the work that you were doing. Now, they will also write to support your application. And in summing it up, you'll be able to provide up to 10 evidence. So these are what we call the evidence. Now, this 10 evidence will need to be uploaded to Tech Nation's website whenever you start your application, those times. But, as time went by, a lot of these processes have been revised. Certain times you'll be required to provide additional support. One thing about tech is you always have a way to prove what you've done. For example, it could be that you've been writing a lot of, one of the things that you were doing has been published in a newspaper, like, let's say, Graphic or the Ghanaian Times. Like, these are very big platforms. And once those things have been done over there, there's a way to support your application. So you can take a whole snapshot of it and then put into a document file, which you can then use it to support your application. But then the most important thing is something we call statement of purpose. If I have time, I'll delve so much into that and tell you more about it. So the statement of purpose is supposed to be up to 1,000 words. Now, what the statement of purpose does is exactly how we used to apply for or we used to apply to universities for school or for admissions. So in Global Talents application, statement of purpose is uniquely how you write your story. So the story should start with where you started from. Now, that means we are looking for your background. It's like what is your current situation? Like that kind of thing. Where did you start from? Your background could be you study mathematics or you studied actuarial science like I did in the university. Now, when you're studying these courses or programs, you had specific courses that you took in over there. Now, these courses obviously influence your choice of career that you want to pursue. So they mold you or they train you in that way. For example, I got trained in statistics and a lot more in mathematics. And so in that way, when it comes to building models or modeling, it is naturally part of me because that is something that I did so most of the time in the university. Now, that way, it also influenced the choice of project that you want to take. So undergraduates, we are going to do project work. Now, project work can be in any field. So your project work, you are going to talk about your methodology. And in the methodology, you have to speak so much about, which of the algorithms you are looking at building or whatever like you are choosing to do. So it could be you chose maybe one interesting part in statistics, which you are using. And whatever that is, you speak so much about it. Now, finally, you would then use it to now frame up what all of these has helped you to pursue after. So after university, after doing all these project work and all of that, you decided to pursue a career in, let's say, quants, like you are doing quant. Now, if you are doing quant, it means it was based on your background that got you into quant. So what do I do in quant? You'd probably be doing quant in finance. Now, which financial product are you dealing with? And what kind of derivatives or possibly like many of the things in quant you are using at that time? And so you speak so much about that one too. And then you bring it down to what you are doing currently. So you went from your background, you came all the way to what your background got you into doing. And then now you are talking about what you are doing now. And so what you are doing now is so centered around where you are working and the things that you do over there. So he speaks so much about that. Okay, I'm working currently for, let's say, MTN Ghana. I'm working on the mobile money product. I'm working here as a data engineer. I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for this, and I've been doing this. The next step is, because you are doing this, you are looking at the opportunity that you should be looking at from. And so that opportunity is you moving to the UK. So you are looking at, when I'm coming to the UK, what am I coming to do? I'm coming to the UK because I've been working in mobile money and I know about many UK fintech companies. So you can start be talking about some of the fintech companies that you can talk about, like all the names that you know of. You can talk
Yeah. So
about
you are touching on the SOP, right?
yes,
The
still on the
statement of
SOP.
purpose. Okay, still on
Yeah.
the SOP. Okay. As a
So
requirement for those who want to go into the IT or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
IT
I mean, it's cut
in
across
general.
all of that.
Okay.
So once you can establish that connection, because you have to be able to prove that you know where you are going. Like you can't just say I want to go to the UK when you can really talk about what is even happening in that space. So you talk about all of that, be able to establish that connection that okay, there's this going on in the UK. I know about this global, I know about this fintech space, and then all of the things that is happening within there. Then the next point is, so when you get to the UK, what would you be doing? We'll be giving you the endorsement. This is what we are talking about. Okay, we'll give you the endorsement. So when you get the endorsement and got a visa, or in the UK now, what are you going to be doing? That's where you need to prove that, okay, once I get into this country, I'm going to be working in this space. And as I working in this space, I'm also going to be contributing to this. I'm going to be building communities that I've already been building, like back home, and make sure this community also trains up like a lot of young people to also build a career in the space that you find yourself. And the final part is why UK. Now, so here is where you're going to talk about all the stuff you know about the UK. You know, the UK has this economy, has this life, it has these institutions, it has these. Now, when I'm in there, I'll be able to use uh, that environment to thrive and then be able to live and then contribute basically to the UK. So all these in 1,000 words, that's what the SOP does, and that's what you need. Now, the SOP is very important because, like I said, it's one of the things that you obviously going to have technicians to look into most of the time. They'll read the SOP, they'll just try to understand the kind of person that we are assessing his or her application, and that way be able to like make their judgment whether or not they are going to accept you or not. But then there's also a trick that we mostly will be needed. One of the trick is you want to prove to technician that you already know what you are doing. So as much as you are writing your SOP, you're also proving in there that you know certain companies that you are probably maybe interviewing with or have interviewed before, and then how it went and all of that. These are all some of the things that you can always add to prove that hey, you know what you are doing, and so they should give you the mandate. So yeah, that's SOP. That's everything that I could say. I mean, I know you have some subsequent questions probably that will come up.
Okay, that's for SOP. So after getting your SOP, what next? What was the next process for you? What proceedings again did you follow after getting a compelling SOP?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to have, people to look into it for you. Just to have a second thought about, all the things that you're doing. But then, I mean, after putting your documents and everything together, you obviously want to make sure it meets all the, you've ticked all the boxes so far as, you know, making this application is concerned. And SOP, your CV, your all the other, let me say, evidence that you have put together. Once all of this is done, all you can do is just submit your application and then wait for when the application is assessed, reviewed, and then a feedback is given you. Um, application takes between a week and to 8 weeks, depending on how quick it can be. We have something called fast track. Now, there are people who get fast track, and so their application get reviewed quickly, and they can get an endorsement as early as a week, maximum 2 weeks, or sometimes up to 3 weeks. But if you are not doing fast track, that means that it can take up to 8 weeks. So these are the fast track work. Um, the the country has some institutions that we call what was his name? So we have certain institutions that we normally have as accelerator programs, like we call them acceleration. So accelerators are like these platforms where you can apply to with your idea or a product that you are working on. And once you are accepted in these accelerator programs, it means you are going to be given support. The support can be finance, the support can be access to markets, and it can be so many others. Now, in the universities over here, there are many of these accelerator programs that works with them. But then once you are not within that, there are also other general ones like Founders Factory. We have other ones like Zinc. Now, all of these accelerator programs. Now, imagine that you have been accepted into any of these accelerator programs. It automatically means that you can apply to the Global Talent Visa under the fast track route. Because the accelerator programs, because your idea has been already been endorsed and under that accelerator, it means you're already a big thing to the UK. And so it means when you apply for Global Talents endorsement, you should be given, because your product is going to be built here, or your product is already being built here, and that product will make like a big deal to the country. Imagine that you're having a product that is maybe having like 5,000 users, and you and your co-founder are already in the country. Probably they came here as students, and they are looking at how to scale it up and all of that. The only thing you have to be looking at is apply to Global Talent, and hey, within a week or two, you get your endorsement so that you can just leave here and start building your product. You don't have to worry about those. So another thing is, imagine that um, any of this on this accelerator program, there's a company that probably had been formed by, let's say, Perry, and Perry is already under the accelerator programs, and Perry is probably looking for, let's say, somebody like a data engineer, and I get to apply to that job, and Perry gives me the job, or his company gives me the job. I can also use that to apply for the Global Talent Visa on a fast track level, and then get the endorsement. I think that's what I did during my application at that time. So yeah, these are some of the things that you can always do and make your application like much more faster and forward
Okay,
as well.
so Mr. Derek, I'm sharing my screen with you. I don't know if you can see that.
Hmm.
Uh, can you see that, Hamley?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a you can get fast track endorsement for Global Talent Visa if you have an eligible job offer. Okay,
Hmm.
and the second bullet, at an institution approved by Royal Society, Royal Academy of Engineering, and British
Yeah.
Academy. So can you walk us through this? What does it mean? Do we need to get approved from any of these institutions before we can put in an application? That's the endorsement, isn't it?
So this for somebody who's coming as a researcher. Now, if you're coming as a researcher, like obviously, like I said from the beginning, under the three routes that we are looking at, those who are coming under the research have their peculiar ones that they look at it from. There are a lot of research institutions that are set up here. If somebody is a researcher, means you're already publishing on a very important journal, which the UK recognizes. Now, if you are publishing under that journal, it means that when you want to apply for Global Talent Visa under this research and academia, like you should be able to be endorsed. If you are not publishing under any of this, then it may be something that you have to be considered doing. But then there's a Royal, I think you mentioned the Royal Academy of of engineering and all of that. So that's
Exactly.
how Tech Nation also works on the
Okay.
digital
I'm
technology
trying to
side.
pull out that of the tech as well whilst you
Yeah,
do that.
that's that like the Royal Academy of Engineers, like how Tech Nation also works. So over
Okay.
here, you also go through like the same process and make sure you fit into the criteria that they have. Their criteria sometimes differ a bit from how Tech Nation own works and may require some additional information. At the same time, how Tech Nation also works also differ from how the Royal Academy of Engineering own also works because of certain conditions or criteria that need to be met by the applicant, and that's just basically how it works. So like I'm saying, for each of them that you want to be looking at, you need to spend some time to really understand like what really goes in there. That's why sometimes people who have done it before can tell you about some of the hacks because they know probably that worked for them, but it doesn't necessarily generally mean that you also using the same approach probably work. It depends on how strong what you are also usually looking at is working for you, and that's how it works on that.
Oh, okay. So if someone moves to the UK on a global talent visa, um, how long can the person spend or stay in the UK or stay in the UK actually as a global talent visa holder? How long? And what are the pros and cons of these visas since you are a beneficiary of that?
Well, thank you. The interesting thing is for global talent visa, you can decide to stay on as long as you want. What I'm trying to say is, so for most visas in the UK, once you are here, you are on for a number of years and you can apply for ILR. Now, not everyone wants to be a permanent resident. Maybe that's not what I want. I just want to be on my visa and then do my work and all of that. So, for global talent, you can decide to just extend your visa every time that you want. Now, the route is in two ways. There are people that are endorsed for talent, and there are people that are endorsed for promise. Now, if you are endorsed for talent, there are certain things that you need to prove during your application. So let me give an example again, Perry, because let's say you have this company that you've been running, and your company, you are the CEO, you guys are making an annual turnover, let's say 10 million pounds already. You have like 10 employees, you have office that you can talk about, you have like many other things that to prove. Now, let's say you want to apply for global talent visa. Now you are going to apply for something like the talent because you'll be able to prove that you have a business which is a tech-enabled business. You're already making some revenue, which you are able to prove with your bank statement and all of the other documentation. You are part of the business because you're also able to prove that in documentation, like in terms of company registration and all of that, you have all those legal binding on you. And then you probably have been doing it for like 3 to 5 years. So that's an established business or that's an established like startup that you are using. So on this one, you are going to be approved or endorsed for talent. Now, for talent, if you are someone who is looking for ILR, it means that once you live in the UK continuously for 3 years, you are eligible to apply for
Okay,
ILR.
so someone may not know what ILR is. That's it.
Oh,
So you can
ILR.
tell us.
So ILR is indefinite leave to remain. Indefinite leave to
Okay.
remain to UK is a permanent resident. Um, I don't have so much knowledge about what you get when you become a permanent resident, but I know that it means that you are just basically not applying for visas whenever you have to be in the country. So that permanent resident, if you want it as somebody who was endorsed on a talent within for global talent, it means that you after 3 years you can put your documents together and go and apply for ILR. Now, for somebody who was endorsed on the promise, it means that you also can stay up to 5 years. And after that, you can also apply for ILR. But like I said, you decide. Like I'm saying, once you are endorsed for life. So this endorsement is available to you. It means that you can always take your application, or you can always go to UKVI website and apply for a visa extension. You can apply for up to whichever number of years that you want, because you basically don't want to be, let's say, a permanent resident or whatever. I mean, it depends on who the person is, but I don't think anybody would say, I don't want to be a permanent resident. Obviously, everybody may want to
Yeah.
be. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that is a distinction. You can stay up to 3 years if you are endorsed under the talent to be able to apply for ILR or the permanent resident. You can stay up to 5 years to be able to apply for your ILR if you want it. However, the condition is that for every year, you should have lived in the country for more than 180 days. If you don't do that, it wouldn't be able to count towards your ILR. So let's say you are endorsed under, let's say, talent. You've lived for 2 years, and on your third year, due to your business, you have to probably go to Ghana. You stayed in Ghana for like 8 months. It means that in that year, you have the visa, all right, but you didn't live in the UK for more than 180 days. So that means you will not be able to use it for your ILR, and that year will not be counted. So you have to probably spend another 1 year more to be able to apply for ILR. Yeah. About, you were asked about the pros and cons about being on the visa. I don't know
Yeah.
I don't know about the cons, but I mean, like I said before, I mean, everything about living abroad is just about your right to work. I mean,
Yeah.
if I have to wake up in the morning and the only thing the thing I don't think about is about visa, then that's it. That's what I'm saying, that if you're on global talent, is just like you are maybe on a British citizenship, because you don't give a damn about what visa, like what people are talking about on the media about, this visa has been whatever. Like it's not your business, because it's not, you are not even concerned, because when you are looking for a job and you are asked about, hey, do you require sponsorship or whatever, like it's not something you care about, because, and you don't need to tell anybody, once you are leaving one job to the other. You can just, have a new job tomorrow and then resign, and just make sure that you exhaust your notice period and you can move to a new job. There's no restriction about the number of hours you're supposed to work in that company or which company, right? It's just about you and maybe HMRC, how you are paying your taxes. Like, that's the only thing you're concerned
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's actually no limit about, when you are looking for a job, what should come between. I mean, there are some jobs in this country that requires you to have lived here for like 5 years. There are some jobs like that.
Oh,
So
really?
on such jobs, it doesn't matter which visa you have. It's just saying that we're looking for people who have lived in this country for like 5 years. That one, visa is not an issue here. So that means they are probably looking
Okay.
for people who have like their ILR. But aside that, I don't think any global talent visa holder cares so much about, visa restrictions. Like, it's not even a starter. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
the cons
okay.
would be that generally on every visa, I mean, you know that sports is one of the biggest exports for this country. So I mean, right now, imagine that I want to be a football coach, or even a draft back, or play maybe any of these sports and activities that they've got. I can't take part as an active sports person. I mean, I think it's cut across almost every visa. I can't be part
Yeah.
of it. I can only do that when I've got my ILR. And the second part is I can have access to public funds, which means that if I'm going to school right now, I want to do my PhD, I can't go to the school with the country's money. I only have to wait until when I have my permanent stay before I can do that. Yeah.
You can do that. Okay. So can you see my screen, please, Mr.
Yeah.
David? Yeah. So I just delve into a website here
Mhm.
called is the Tech Nation under the
Yeah. Yeah.
UKVI's website. So I think it has something to do with the digital technology sector, which is part of the global talent visa. So,
Yeah.
can you elaborate or tell us much more about a technician? What did you do, or during the process, did you have anything to do with technician?
Okay, thank you. So from the onset, I mentioned that Technician is among those institutions that the UK government has given them the authority to, one, take applicants' documents or information, assess it, and then give them endorsement. Now, what you are showing is like the technical skills that are so mostly like covered. So
Yeah.
I think if you are much aware, you know that some of the emerging technologies that are making waves right now is AI. And so what it that means is that now the country is more concerned about people who should come into their country and then get jobs or start companies in AI. What it means is if I need to be endorsed for the global talent now, and if I've spent like 3 to 5 years working in a product that is more AI centered, I have a better chance of getting endorsed by
Okay.
technician. So my role, and that's why I gave you several job titles that for myself, I've worked as a data engineer, I've worked as a data scientist, I've worked as a machine learning engineer before. Now I'm into analytics engineering. Forget about the job title. What
Sure.
the job is concerned about is all those skill set that you have mentioned up there. So I have like I'm into like all of them. I do all of them and all of that. Anybody who's working under any of these job titles depends on what the company's role is and what the person's role is and what responsibility they've been given to do. Now, if they perform any of that, it means that they form or they fit into that criteria. And so once technicians look at your application, like I said, when I was giving an example, I gave that, okay, imagine that you work for MTN Mobile Money. You work there as a data engineer. During the when MTN was setting up that data platform that gets data basically of transactions from all the sources that you are the person who worked on it. You
Yeah.
also set up like all the rest of the infrastructure that is concerned with how end users get access to the data. You are the person who was responsible for that. But it means that everything that is concerned with the technical skills, you have covered that. So when you make your application, it is about the business, the product that they are doing, and what your role is in there. That's what matters. You don't have to go and list that you are doing this or you are like what we used to do before. Like somebody write a CV and say, I'm a good communicator, I am this. No, those nonsense doesn't matter here. What really matters is the product that you are working in. Does the product actually fit into these skills that says that or technical skill that you have mentioned? If they fit in it, then that's it. But for you to go and list that I have AI, machine learning. No, it's rubbish. Like nobody really give a damn about that. So your work should prove that okay, you do that as well. If not, then it doesn't matter. Technician is a whole company. They used to do a lot of other things aside like providing endorsement. They have a lot of other responsibilities that they look into, and those were the things that some of them had to be taken away from the UK government about some years ago. It became like a problem. People were thinking that global talent is cancelled. I mean, this visa never cancelled, never get cancelled because if you look, I mean, you're on the website. If you read into the report, you will see the contribution of global talent visa people to the UK. Like people are establishing companies that are turning into unicorns, and they are, you're talking about billions and millions of pounds to the economy. They are bringing in people who are like hotcakes. They are very good people. They do a lot of work technically. The country needs such people. So it's just that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So can you describe how do you call it? any financial aspects of this
Mhm.
visa process, the costs or funding proof or
Oh,
whatsoever? Because you made mention of proof of funds. So
uh,
someone may be listening to us and maybe may have all these requirements, what have you, but then he or she is thinking about the cost that comes with this whole visa process and all that.
yeah. So unlike other visas where you need to prove funds and all of that, unfortunately for UK or fortunately for global talents, you don't have to prove any fund. Like you don't need any money lying in your account anywhere. I didn't have shit like when I was applying because if they even asked me for £1,000, I wouldn't get it. Now, but the only thing is when you are applying, because it's two stages. So the first stage, which is you applying for the endorsement requires some monies to be paid. And I think it's at our time it's just around £460. I think now it's about 500 and plus pounds. Now that money is just for your endorsement. That's the first stage. So after you pay that money, you have access to Technician website, or I think now everything has been moved to a government's properly regulated gateway website where you do all of that and you pay that money. So once you are given the endorsement, now this is the most important part. Once you get endorsement, right? It's like you, Perry. Today you have been endorsed for Global Talent Visa to come to the UK on, let's say, the talent route. So it means that you can apply for a visa for up to 3 years. Now, when you're applying for the visa fee is there. Generally, everybody will pay a visa fee. So Global Talent Visa, let's say the visa fee is £300. That's one side. Now, the second part is the health surcharge. So coming to the UK, you need to pay for your health, because NHS will charge you. So that when you come to the country and you are sick and you want to go to the hospital or go to your GP, you just can take yourself and go there. Don't care about anything because nobody will charge you money. Now that fee is different depending on your visa route. So I think recently it's around 1,000 plus pound for a year, which means that for every year on these 3 years, let's say you are paying £1,000. So if Perry, you decide to apply for this visa for that whole 3 years, it means that is £3,000. And this
Yeah.
will be plus your visa fee, and you can apply. Now let's say that you don't have that £3,000 at the moment, which means that you can decide to apply for just a year, right? A year, which is the health surcharge plus your visa fee. And so that means that UK is going to give you 1 year of stay to come to the country. Now, when you are here, now you've worked, you've made some money. And so you are like, okay, let me do the rest of the 2 years. Now we then go to their website again and start and then do your 2 years. We'll call it extension. That's almost like do. When I was coming, I didn't have a lot of money, like I'm saying, I didn't have shit. So I just applied for 1 year. When I got here, a year later, I did extension by 2 years. And that's how come I just stayed in the country. Yeah. So you don't need to
Okay.
worry about, okay, I've been endorsed for 3 years, I've been endorsed for 5 years. I'm mandated to apply for 5 years. No, you are not. You're actually allowed to be flexible. You can apply for a 1 year, you can apply for a 2 years, you can apply for 3 years, depend. If you have all the money and you want to do 5 years or 3 years at a go, it's okay because it saves you some money, because maybe in a year time, by the time you want to extend your visa, the health surcharge has been increased by, let's say, another £500. That means it's going to be 1,500 for a year. That's a lot of money. So it's better to save it from the beginning.
I think
Yeah.
we are seeing the fee currently, the fee for applying for the endorsement is
Oh, yeah,
£766.
766. Yeah.
766.
So that's when you're
Um,
applying. So it will
mhm.
be 561 when you're applying for the endorsement. So it's not 766 upfront.
Okay,
It's
and then
561
205
when you apply. And the
for visa
205 is on the visa itself. So when you have, so
itself.
visa fee will be 205. Yeah.
So in total about seven, let me say 766. But then there is a health surcharge below. We
That's what I
see
was talking about.
thousand
So the
credits.
health
Yeah,
surcharge
the one
depends
you
on
just
which
made
how
mention of.
many years you want to do.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. The training
So
better
there's
send that
no
first
bank
one.
statement. There's no bank statement. There's nothing. Like you don't need a bank statement to prove that you have this money. No, 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 no. You are saved from that. The moment you get the endorsement, your life is actually done because you're like 95% on your way to the UK. All you need to do is just apply your visa, tell them how long you want to come and stay. If it is a year you can afford, you just do your year. You come in, find your job, start working, start paying HMRC and all the shit you want to pay. And then you can then say, hey, I want to extend my stay. So give me another year or two. I can be doing like a year every day. It's you. Like nobody you going to force you to do anything. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, yeah. I was reading on the art and culture, and I read
Hmm.
something that those in the space of art and culture can submit their works. You know,
Yep.
they have nice works like those art artifacts and all that.
Yeah.
Even if you are into the field of media,
Yeah.
you can submit your media works and all that through
Yeah.
their certified companies and all that, like the tech. How do you call it? The one that has to do with the tech. You made mention the tech whatever.
Technician.
Yes, um, for the researchers,
Yeah.
they will submit theirs to the Royal Society and all that.
Academy. Yeah.
I think the IT guys too, you have yours, and then for
Yeah.
the creative art industry too, they have theirs. So I
Yes.
think if you are joining us live on this conversation we're having with my brother Derek, um, I've posted the link that will direct you to UKVI website, Global Talent, so you can read more. Those with background in the creative art industry, the tech, IT, business gurus, and all that, and even academicians. I think the researchers, you can make good use of this, and then um, go through the endorsement process, like our friend just made mention,
Yeah.
the SOP, the statement of purpose, and all that, so you can get the endorsement, and then you are good to go. I think it's a life changing, opportunity which a lot of people have not really, you know, exploited yet. So, Mr. Derek, can you share a mind blowing moment from your journey where the visa process, revealed an unexpected opportunity in the US, in the UK? Sorry. Okay, let me go like this. What benefits of this visa have been a game changer for you? A game changer for you, especially in your career and you switching jobs and all that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you speak to a lot of people who live abroad, they sometimes everybody tell you about their frustration that they go through. I mean, unfortunately for us in the UK, almost everybody in the internet, especially in Ghana, would think that all of us work in care, work in a warehouse, and then what have you. Like that's what most people think that that's what all of us do. But I mean, like I'm saying, it's a lot more about making sure there's already something going on in your life, just not you wanting to travel, but make sure there's a whole ideal space for you where you can express yourself. And I always say that we are training English, you know here too you're going to speak English, so English make it even much more easier. Navigating jobs itself is a bit harder, I must say. I still go to interviews and fail. It doesn't mean that I'm a terrible person or I'm not really good. It just means that there are some requirements that I cannot meet, and it's the same for everybody. But then, what is more important, and we are always happy for, is the fact that there are actually jobs that you can apply to, and if you fit into it, you're going to get interviews. Unlike what we have back home, where you are not even seeing any job that you need to apply to. I mean, so the good thing is, yeah, there are the jobs you can always apply to. You always have to read the job requirements and then whether your CV that you have actually fits into it. That's one benefit that I can always count on. There's a whole global talent community in the UK, especially for Tech Nation, which I'm part of. We have a whole Slack channels where we express like a lot. We have like even meetups that happens, I think the last Thursday of every month. The last time I attended one of these meetings a long time ago. But then whenever you go, you're going to meet like many other, you know, like-minded people like you who want to have a chat with you, know about what you're doing and how you are doing it, whether you need some support. People are just going to be nice to you depending on what you're doing. My first job in the UK was as a result of being part of that community because my manager is also a global talent visa holder. So she posted about, hey, she needs somebody like that, and I just sent her a message, and that's how I got my first job in the UK. Things that I'm always like I'm saying, for most people, whenever you are looking for a job, questions that you're going to be asked is, do you need sponsorship or do you require sponsorship? Some companies they are not sponsoring, so if you are looking for sponsorship, they will not, continue with the process with you, even if you are the best candidate. But for global talent, we don't really care about that because we are already self-sponsored. Like I have my own visa, I don't need your money. Even if you want to sponsor me, I'll tell you I don't need it because I mean, why should I allow you to sponsor me? That's the very important thing that we benefit from. The third thing I can say is the opportunity that we are looking at also being able to build our own product. Because, like I mentioned, that there's a whole community. So imagine that I want to build a product. That's where I'm going to start from. I'm going to tell my community people about it because they are very tech and well vested with tech. If I tell them about a product, they are going to be like able to, align very easily, tell me about how the product probably should be built, like the things I need to be considering. And so it is very easy for you to like build that. Anyone who tells you like a lot more about the UK, the person needs to experience it like a lot more, especially if you are working in a big city like London. It's actually like the technology, the financial hub of Europe. You get to see like every company, especially like the big ones that are making waves. You don't necessarily need to work in a big company. The most important thing is that unlike us back home where we used to think that once we come abroad you need to be looking for company like Microsoft, the Googles, like yeah, no, it doesn't work like that. Every company that you are working with is making impact. You're actually contributing. Your things that you do are very important to them. You are working the same way as somebody who is working at Facebook or wherever is doing. But you need to have that mindset that hey, I need to start small. Once you are doing well, and once you are learning, because the more you learn, I mean, there are some companies that possibly I worked with I never learned. I was just there, probably being paid, but I was not doing anything. There are companies like that. It's just like how play football is. You can be paid big money and be on the bench. Like you are just there, you are wasting, but you are being paid. It's the same way with how our career is. So if anybody wants to be on the globe, like move to the abroad and then work, one of the things I always want you to do is pay attention to what you're doing back home and how you yourself stand out for. If you are standing out on something, it means that you can always make it, much better. But if there's nothing, zero, then you probably need to have a reality check. Yeah,
Okay. So I saw something here. We will just draw the curtain down in few minutes.
yeah,
I want to share something with those in the space of how do you call it? The arts,
yeah,
the art and culture.
hmm,
So this is what I so those in art and culture, I think architects, fashion
yeah,
designers, film and television. So in the
yeah,
era, in today's era where technologies are emerging and all that, we have a lot of people in the even in the film and television, um, setting or sector, and even the fashion. So
yeah,
let's go down here so that we can see the requirement for those people. Though we've left the link in the comment section below so that you can peruse through. Um, so here we go. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Here's it. So documents that you must provide, like he made mention, like you said, some letters of recommendation. All right.
Yeah. Yes.
And then there's that even up to 10 single pieces of evidence showing your exceptional talent or promise. Each must be two slides of paper or whatsoever that has to do with your
Yeah.
your works. And then a copy of your
Yeah.
CV, and then you outline your professional career education, all typed like you made mention. And then two letters
Yeah.
of recommendation from um, organizations that are experts in your field. At
Yeah.
least one must be based in UK. You made mention of that. So it means with yours, you had a recommendation from a UK based recognized IT company. You
Um.
made mention.
So unfortunately, I mean, interestingly, that is not really a requirement for Tech Nation, but it is a requirement for those on the creative art.
On
So
the
for
creative
creative
part.
art, at least an institution that is based in the UK needs to know about what you do. That's an important one. But for those on the tech track, you don't necessarily need to have that. But for those in creative art, yeah, it is a requirement. And just like you can't be working, I mean, somebody doing film or fashion without somebody knowing about what you do. At least an institution here need to know about your work. So you might have probably have somebody in there, and it's all based on network, like how you network with people. Well, you can probably find someone on any of these institutions' websites, go into, or maybe on their LinkedIn profile, check them out, send them messages, and they'll probably be able to reply to you. Then you can tell them that, hey, I'm into maybe this creative arts. These are some of my works. Along the line, when you've been able to build a very good network with them, whenever you are ready and then they need an endorsement, they will always be willing to provide it for you. That's just how it works. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Oh, we've done about 21 minutes. So, Mr. Derry Degbe, please, what are your last words for your listeners? But before you come in with your last words, finally, what one vision prediction, what one visionary prediction you have for how the global talent visa will evolve to attract even more IT in
Good,
this 21st century?
uh, good question. Very competitive one, a very difficult one, of course. So before Global Talent, the UK used to have a visa called, I think, Exceptional Talents or something that
In
was
2020,
there.
I guess.
Pardon?
In 2020.
Yeah, in 2020.
Okay.
And I think it was later replaced by the Global Talent. So I have people that I meet who are on that visa. After Global Talent was introduced, other countries started also doing same. So you go to Australia, they also have like something like that. I think Canada have something similar. And then recently US also started something similar with the EB1 and the EB2 or something. Um, and then other European countries also have theirs. What it generally means is that so far as you're an immigrant or you are a person working very hard in the field that you find yourself, whenever it gets to the point where you need to relocate, you can always find something more better for you to look at. And that's why I'm saying that, whatever you start home, you continue with it because um, you don't want to wait until when you don't have anything to prove to yourself. That's where you start looking for a visa. I mean, imagine you are in your early 30s or maybe late 20s, and you need to travel abroad, and then what do you want to go and do is start a school or all of that. I mean, there's not a lot of guarantee on that because um, globally almost all the advanced countries that you can think about are having a lot of immigration issues that are going on right now. It doesn't matter which country that you find yourself, everybody's like having things that are ongoing. But what is also good for us is when you start aligning yourself, building your career around a particular space, which will always be in high demand, you always be able to relocate and then start your life or continue your life from there. UK Global Talent Visa allow you to travel with your partner. So imagine you are married, you have kids, you guys can all move in together and continue your life. And so what I see is there is still a lot of young people who are beginning their career and have started building very well. They have right mentors who are guiding them. And so it means that they have a very sustained career over time. And whenever it's time for them to relocate, they will look for opportunities like this so that they can continue their life over there. I mean, even if I'm working for the biggest investment bank like over here, I will still want to be on my global talent visa because I just want to make sure I have my own pace in which I decide where I want to go to. I don't want to be on a company visa where any day, anytime, after financial report, they just come and say, hey, we need to lay off this number of,
Yeah.
of you. And, once you are laid off, because your visa is tied, it means that you have, up to certain number of days to look for a new job or you have to return to your home country. And this is very depressing. It's heartbreaking. And so I mean, looking at how I have been in this country, being able to move in, move out anytime I want to. If there's anyone out there who wants to relocate, I'll just need you to take time, go through this whole website, learn more about it. If you have any questions, you can always come to me or anyone so that we help you out on getting it. You don't, like I say, you don't necessarily need to get a job back home before you relocate here. Nobody really care about that. But then once you get into the country, the struggle or the life begins. You have to
Life
live to
begins.
pay rent. You have to feed yourself. You need to, when you are wherever you are going, you need to pay for your transport and all of that. So it means that the very moment you come in, you need to start looking for a job, interview very quickly, and then land yourself a job. Then you can continue with your life. Sometimes it may take some time to get the job you want, but then I don't think it is still a big problem. I mean, imagine that you get your visa, let's say in September. You may want to take your time, apply for jobs even from Ghana, see how the processes are going, and then you can from there take time to come in quickly so that you then be able to continue with your job. Once you get a job, I mean, I think my first job, I had my final interview when we had traveled to Kenya for some assignment. And then by the time I came back, I just came to start the job because all my equipment were shipped to me in my house. So yeah, that's one thing I would say. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we want to make time for Q&A. So questions and answers. And I think we
Oh,
have
okay.
few few persons in our comment section below. We have Robbie. Hello, Robbie. Can you hear me? Hello, Robbie. Hello. Okay. Hello, Robbie. Okay. Seems Robbie is not with us. Okay. Let me. We had one other person, Larry, but Larry just signed out. Larry signed out. Okay. So let's make some time for Q&A. So I'm posting a link where our listeners can use
Mhm.
and click on to ask questions. So if you're joining us tonight on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, the name is Rufen Peregrino, and tonight we are having an awesome discussion surrounding the global talent visa, how to navigate your way through the global talent visa. And this visa cuts across, you know, individuals with talent or who have potential leadership in the academia or research, arts and culture, digital technology. So, looking at the status quo of our economy or the country as of now, we have a whole lot of graduates who are unemployed, and they
Mm-hmm.
are also doing good in their field, being, artists, IT,
Yeah.
gurus, researchers, and all that. I know a lot of people who does, who write SOP, statement of purpose, and all that. They are very good researchers, in the field of academia. And
Yeah.
I also have a lot of people who does good. You know, they have very good works when it comes to drawing. Being showing the artistic
Yeah.
impression in the field of fine arts or what have you, and even the culture. They
Yeah.
have good works. Trust me. Way back in KNUST, in Legon, I have a lot of friends there, and
Yeah.
these guys are even they are home. They are working on their own, and I believe they've not yet exploit, the opportunities in the global talent visa.
Yeah.
So I encourage them to delve into this opportunity, and it's actually free. You don't need this global talent opportunity. You don't need a job sponsor. Okay, you don't need any job sponsorship like what we know of the UK, the COS. We heard of the COS and all that. There's not a COS deal or COS what have you. It's a global talent visa. Just come in, show your talent. What are you good in? What is your potential, what potentials have you in the sector of academia, research, arts and culture, even digital technology? Just have someone or a certified institution in the UK to endorse you. Okay, write your SOP recommendation letters or whatsoever have you endorse you, and then you go on the website, the UKVI website, that's a United Kingdom visa immigration website, and then you apply. Upon application, you are good to go. You get a 3 to 5 years to work in the US, and you can move freely like our brother have been doing. Okay, so let me go back again and bring Robbie. Robbie, can you hear me?
Yes, hello, I can hear you now.
Okay, good evening, Robbie. How are you doing?
Good evening, I'm doing well, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I mean, I've been following for some time back now on
Okay,
X. So,
that's nice. So, do
I've
you have
actually,
any question?
yeah, I've actually searched about the global visa before, but I didn't really understand how the procedure and everything works and how you can apply and all that. I'm a graphic designer and I also have some experience in social media marketing and photographer as well. So I wanted to find out that if you are self-employed and you also apply by yourself or you need some other people you have worked to also write a sponsorship or like sponsorship letter to help or maybe a recommendation letter as well.
Hello,
Hello?
Derek. Hello, Derek. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do I
So,
answer? Is it done?
yes.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, good one. So self-sponsored is, do you have like a registered business?
Yes, I have.
Okay. You're good. So if you are a registered business, that means you work for people, and these
Yes.
people obviously be able to provide endorsement to like recommendation letters to support you. But then I
Yeah.
think what I would need you to do is you need to work on your network. Means that
Okay.
you need to build a very formidable network with people who are working in the space. Find the organizations that are, let's say, like the national institution that is basically looking at people who are into your type of work.
Okay.
Because once you are part of this, they might probably be doing like, let's say, an exhibition. You just make sure you're able to present your works and exhibit it with them. And the second part is, if you listen, we mentioned about institutions that are in the UK that are
Yeah.
into what you do. You need to find one or two of them and then start building connections with them. You obviously find one or two people in there who you can connect with, LinkedIn is a very good opportunity for you to network. So over time, then you can start introducing yourself to them, showing them some of your works that you have done in the past, your social media account that they can be looking at. Whenever you are ready, let's say in 6 months, and you want to make your application, these guys will be able to write endorsement or recommendation letter to support you. That is the kind of way you need to make yourself visible until one you can apply. But I think per what you have described, yeah, you're obviously qualified to be in such position, and so you should start working on that now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Any other question? Oh, I think you are muted.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Derek Degbe. Did I get his surname right? Sorry.
Who?
Did I get your surname right, Mr. Degbe? Right?
Yeah,
Degbe.
Dagbe. It's a
Okay.
long name. I decided to just shorten it.
Okay. 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 So, what are your last words for us? To all the cherished listeners who joined this space, or because of the opportunities we have across surrounding the global talent
Yeah.
visa. What's your last word for us, especially to the youth of Ghana? Because I'm a Ghanaian of Ghana, who has potentials in the field of the art and culture, digital technologies, academia, or research, yet they are home unemployed or they are doing their own thing.
um, I think so. If in one way, what I would say is, I think we are not doing bad ourselves. We are doing well. That's my first words that I need to take to you. Um, you're obviously one of the people who made it to university, and if you are home, it doesn't mean that that's the end of you. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a very competitive world, honestly. So you don't need to be worried so much about it. Um, but then one thing that stands out is when you don't allow yourself to be distracted, because distraction is a big thing. A lot of people get distracted along the way, especially with how they want to build their career. When it comes to traveling, people didn't start traveling from now. I mean, and people didn't travel only to go and do the good job, like the nice jobs that we think they can do. I mean, if you see me working in a car wash, you shouldn't be surprised because it will help me to pay my bills. That's all matters to me. It will help get me food. If you see me working in as a cleaner or whatever, it's just basically because I want to pay my bills. Like I don't give a damn about whatever anybody cares about. And these are the things that you need to always, care about. Traveling, like I'm saying, it didn't start today. But one thing that is a big issue right now is we can't really tell what this revolution has for anyone. What I mean is because we have just shifted from an industrial revolution to a new revolution called the robotic age. Now, the robotic age has no basics at the moment. So, whatever we are all doing, we are just doing because we just want to live. What it means is that for everything that you want to do, you need to be an active participant now. It is nice to travel to school, to work, to pursue whatever you want to do. It is very okay, but you pursue them with your personality in mind because that's the only way you can advance on that. So I work in data now. I can't really tell that the field of work that I do will exist in 10 years. I can't tell. That's why I'm saying that this revolution is so hard to predict. But for people like young people coming up and all, the good thing that works is you are still young. You will be able to learn a lot, navigate through life challenges, and then move through it. For many people like myself, who is like in our 30s now, it is very difficult for us because the thing is, we're born, raised in a generation that was the industrial one. We are now working in the robotic age, which is very difficult to predict. I mean, I can tell you that not everybody in my age can actually navigate a computer properly. It is not because they are terrible. It is because they didn't have that opportunity to do so. And so, if you're a young person home doing your own thing, whatever, it's a good thing. You are not left out. You are just trying to put pieces together, but don't get distracted, like I'm saying. If you get distracted, you lose it because we are all trying our best just to, make things happen. But don't get distracted. Find something that you interest you. If you see me like seated here right now doing this, it means that there was some job that I need to do maybe about 5, 10 years before I could get this. So that is one thing that I need to focus on. And life is spiritual. Always pray. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Derek Degler. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your time so much. It was nice having you here with us on the topic navigating the UK Global Talent Visa journey, the tips, application process, and success story. We appreciate so much and being part of this session of the Travel Just episode 2. And before we draw down the curtain, would you like to leave behind any contact, being it email or WhatsApp number or what have you, that our cherished listeners can reach you on, should the need be? Because I believe they've started perusing through the website. Others have started even trying to see which sector best fits them, so they can start something. So since you are there in the UK and we see you as a mentor, probably if you don't mind to mentor few other Ghanaians or even our listeners.
Yeah, I'm very active on LinkedIn. It's Derek Degbe. That's it on LinkedIn. I think that'll be very okay. I'm okay. I'm also here on X. I don't know how I use my X, but I'm not really good on X. I just do like 5 minutes a day on X. But I mean, LinkedIn will be very okay if we can do LinkedIn. I don't think
How about
email.
email?
My email is derekjr560@gmail.com.
Okay, so
Yeah, Derek
let me put in the
JR.
email there, please. Derek Derek
Yeah, JR five six
Jr
zero at gmail.com.
five
Yeah, JR
six
and
zero
Junior.
at gmail dot
Yeah,
com. Okay, so Derek Derek 560 at gmail.com.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. And to my church listeners, you can always reach out to Mr. Derek Degbe um, for any questions, and he will answer. He will grant you answers to all the questions you have surrounding global talents. And I respect him so much. And we thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I will leave my church listeners with a quote which I love so much. And it goes like this: before you quit, you try again. Before you quit, you try again. Thank you so much, Derek, for joining us. And stay blessed.
Uh,
I salute you.
yes. Bye.